Okay, like I say, there's some weird stuff going on here. That was immediate that time, so I'm not sure what the deal is. It could be any number of things. I won't belabor the point. I'm just not sure what's happening here. Okay, well let me get to the crux of the matter. The entire email thing is exploding. Of course, it's showing that Obama lied. There was an FBI agent who testified under oath that those emails were in the White House, in the office of the president, and yet Obama said he didn't know anything about it. So, um, very interesting development there. I'm hand holding my phone, by the way. Whatever the problem is, it's apparently in my computer. Again, I apologize. That happened right away this time. Everything froze up. As a matter of fact, the OBS, my internet connection dropped. Everything. So who knows what's happening? It might happen on the phone here too. So just keep that in mind. I guess that's one way to shut somebody up, isn't it? Okay. The thing that I really want to talk about this morning is something that Michael Snyder brought up in an article, and it's about that the Satanic Church is welcoming leftists, and leftists are flocking to it. Um, Basically, with the anti-Trump position of the Satanic Church, it's become more uh, of a friend, I guess you could say, more attractive to leftist Marxists. Now, that shouldn't that shouldn't surprise anyone. I mean, it shouldn't surprise anyone. Uh, the leftist Marxists, what we're seeing here is a mentality, a spirit, a really the same thing that whether you read it in the Bible or you see it elsewhere, whether it's something that really is from our past, as far as our spiritual past, if we had one. Of course, I think we did. Um, or if it's just a cause and effect thing and the history repeats itself. The fact of the matter is that those who um, make it a habit of accusing others for their own gain, or just simply to take odds at them, sort of like the trolls here, when they come and they just want to make an accusation to kind of derail the conversation or to be a nuisance. That's a spiritual sickness. And Satanists, remember, Satan means, and I know a lot of people say, well, the Satanic Church isn't really, this. Well, then why call it that? Satan in the basic language means accuser. It's what it means. So why would, you know, Satan's not just an individual, it's a concept. And it's very obvious what Satan stands for. It means accuser. Bottom line, no argument. Okay? So whether the Satanic Church thinks that they're just decent people just looking at a different lifestyle or whatever, that's fine with me. But the bottom line is, you belong to a church that says that you are accusers. You are in the accuser church. Okay. You can also say instructor. Uh, the actual letter that I've talked about in the Hebrew alphabet before, tet, means the instructor. It's the it represents who we know as Satan, who stands before God accusing the brethren, in other words, testing them and stuff like that. And in that regard, some Satanists might think, well, it's a good thing, we're we're testing ourselves, we're testing our friends. But what's interesting here is that the left, as Michael Snyder pointed out, is aligning itself in droves with the Satanic Church, and that should surprise no one. So what we're seeing in the House of Representatives with Cummings and with Swalwell and with Adam Schiff and all of these other people that are now flocking to find other ways to accuse the president, um, none of them would stand up to the scrutiny that they're trying to give to the president, and I think we all know that. But these are the demons that have. I mean, I'm talking esoterically here, but it's absolutely true. These demons have taken over these people in the flesh, if they're not demons, themselves, or wishing to be demons. We're in a lot of difficulty here, as I've said before. If there's not a repentance pretty soon, this could end up destroying our civilization. Look at New York City, what they're doing. Look at California. Look at Illinois. Look at Washington State, Oregon, New Mexico. Look at how they stand on the abortion issue, and then the post-birth abortions, or post-birth, really, infanticide. Look how they stand on your rights. It's because Satan doesn't want you, the people that believe in satanic ideas, into the accusing, the leftist Marxists who want power, they don't want you to oppose them. So they will oppose your rights. And again, we have to understand that rights aren't given by governments. That's a democratic government idea. We're not a democracy, we're a republic. And it's also a satanic idea that Satan will let you know what you can do and what you can't do. God's a free agent as long as you're not interfering with the rights of others. So this is a very basic philosophical difference. And both have their pitfalls, but by far the most dangerous is the one where somebody else is going to tell you what to do in your life every minute of every day. So that's the reason why, if this satanic church is getting these leftist members, that's the reason why, because it's the same philosophy. And this is very, very bad. As I've said for a long time, there is a division taking place in the world between good and evil. And it'll be it'll be finely tuned at the end. It'll be where you're splitting hairs on what the right is. Because even what is correct can have negative things to it. And so we're going to have to open our eyes and our ears, our minds and our hearts. And we're going to have to examine these things and choose very wisely, very carefully, rightly divide these things that are being presented to us, and see if we can go the right way every time. We're not always going to make the right decision, but we've got to be aware that that's what's happening, that we're being tested down to very fine parts of principles. But the people that stand with the satanic church, that are from the leftist Marxists, those people, I'm not saying that pagans are bad necessarily or whatever. By their fruits you shall know them for certain. But this is really getting to be a big thing. It's in our media, it's in our schools. Look at the drag queens, look at all that's going on in the schools. Look at the teaching in the schools of pedophilia, homosexuality, transgenderism. These are the things that Satan, the tester, attacked right after the creation, right after God placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. It was the first thing he attacked, was their relationship. And I won't get into the particulars, but it was a lot more like what you might consider it to be than the Apple story. The Apple story is what you do for children so that you don't get into the particulars of things you don't want them to know about. The principles are what are important anyway. So, oh yeah, Lee Stranahan, you're saying? Spiral Bear, is that your name there? Yeah, it's killing it in DC. Lee Stranahan's great. I know he and Dan Bongino are kind of at each other's throats, but they're both great guys. They have a slightly different take for different reasons. I think I actually prefer Lee Stranahan's understanding of events and reporting because he's so in depth. Dan Bongino is somewhat restricted, probably by his politics, but also because of his. I'm not saying he will not tell the truth because he wants a paycheck. But there are some things about Fox that probably keep him from saying everything that he'd like to. I'm not going to find fault with him in that. I'm going to take the good from Bongino and the good from Stranahan, put the two together, and we can figure it out. And like I say, then you've got headlines with The Voice, you've got the Bill Still report, you've got H.A. Goodman, and I know I'm going to say Alex Jones. A lot of you are going to go, oh, no. But no, Alex is still in the running. Yeah, he's one continuous run-on commercial, but his staff and he still put out some very important information. So we need to gather all that together and take it and run with it, dividing it to what we think is important. I have nothing against gays either. That's not the point. The point is that and this has been my experience, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what it is, but gay men think that every straight man is a potential convert. All it takes is a six-pack of beer. A lot of them think that. They look at every man as a potential convert. I'm not sure how the lesbians do it, And I'm not going to get into a big long discussion, but I don't care if they're gay either, but this thing is being promulgated, promoted to everyone. It's being forced on us, saying that it's normal and it's not. Saying that it's a good thing. It'll just, just think about it. It could destroy mankind. If everybody accepted this lifestyle, it could destroy mankind. It does not cause increase. It stagnates. It stops. By its mere manifestation of what it does, it shows that it stops increase. Okay? So there's a problem with it. And I'm not going to get into all the doctrinal issues, but I can talk about it scientifically. It's the death cult. It's part of the death cult because it doesn't increase. It doesn't produce life. That in itself alone is a problem. That's why the elites push it, because they're into population control. That's why they're pushing it, and to destroy mankind's spirit. So we gotta look at those things realistically. I don't care if they're like that, but this promulgating it and promoting it is wrong, and that's why I got so upset with Donald Trump getting up on stage and waving the LGBTQ flag. It was just as bad as when Obama lit up the White House with the gay colors. So no, I don't care if they're that way, but stay away from me and mine. That's all I gotta say. And it's getting harder to do that because it's being forced out on us, which shows that it's Satan. If people just open their eyes and see it. Now, there are chemicals in the water. They're trying to change us chemically. I know that. I'm absolutely aware of that. We have to resist it. We have to resist it. Clean up your water, clean up your food, clean up, your entertainment, all those things. Because you can beat it. It's a war on you. Understand it's a war on mankind. It's another satanic attack, which goes along with the theme today. So the leftist Marxists are about total control of you and of government and of you, and forcing their way on you, of accusing you when you don't go their way, of shutting down your First Amendment, of making it so you can't protect yourself by taking away your Second Amendment, knowing everything about you, the panopticon, the taking away of your Fourth Amendment rights. These are all satanic attacks, all of them. All of them. There are two paths openly illuminated. In other words, light shined on them. There's the one of the perfect law of liberty, and then there's the one of slavery. It's plainly manifest. So that's all I really wanted to cover this morning. So hopefully, I probably won't come back here. It could even be an internet connection here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my who knows what all the technical problems are. But we'll see if we can change that. If I have to use my phone all the time, I'll do that. Maybe some things have changed that I don't know about. Again, I apologize for that interference. Let me go back through some of this, and I am holding this. I would have put it up on a tripod this morning, but let me just see if I can answer some of your questions here. Stream scrambling technology. I'm not a techie. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I really wouldn't be a bit surprised. Roy, are you satanic? Are you not listening, or are you just trying to get attention? So I'm just going to leave you alone, okay? Okay. Marx was a Satanist, that's true. That's where he got his ideas. He and, the Huxleys and the Darwins and those people all said that they were being visited by these, they didn't call them, well, Aleister Crowley said it was a demon, but the rest of them said they're being visited by these other entities. And yes, by their fruits you'll know them. It works in the spirit world. And yes, by their fruits you'll know them. It works in the spirit world. What did I say yesterday when I was out at the lake, out at the reservoir? I said, you've got people love you here will probably love you in the afterlife. There are people that hated you here and they'll hate you in the afterlife. It's not a utopia there. Things don't used to say, and I know it's an old saying, but it says, Roy, you got to learn to dance in the rain, right? All this crazy stuff going on around you, and you still dance in the rain. I had another friend who had a dream one day. I'll just tell you about it. That there were all these people that he saw lined up along this road, and then he saw this man walking down between them. Now, this is kind of Christian, so just hold your horses, okay? Um, and these people are throwing out. Just hold your horses, okay? Um, and these people are throwing accusations at him. And this is in the spirit world, throwing accusations at him, saying horrible things to him. And in the dream, the man who was having this dream was given to understand that was Jesus, and what Jesus was doing was given to understand that was Jesus, and what Jesus was doing was totally ignoring what these accusations were. In other words, he didn't let them affect him. I think that's what we're really looking at, folks. Like-minded people, birds of the feather flock together. Satanists don't like, birds of the feather flock together. Satanists don't like us, and we don't like us, and we don't like them. But it's a war here, and it's going to get ugly before it gets better. Prep, pray, stay out of the way as long as you can, but do not fail to protect yourselves, okay? Protect yourselves, okay? All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I know, Christine Wilson. I'm very familiar with the protocols of Zion. I'm not saying they're false. I'm not saying they're true, but they're true. But the thing is that we always want to home in on specific peoples. This is a problem across all socioeconomic, religious, racial. Religious, racial, the whole spectrum. And when you concentrate on one area, you fail to see it everywhere, okay? And that's a problem, so don't get locked into that. Yeah, headlines with a voice in Judicial Watch, mainstays, absolutely. And I keep forgetting to mention Judicial Watch, but of course I include those. I do include those. Hopefully I'm not cutting off the, the microphone here. The microphone here. What? Okay. Looks like the New Mexico arrest now moving the whole group. Yeah, they want to shut that whole thing down. Moving the whole group. Yeah, they want to shut that whole thing down. The FBI is not to be trusted. I've said that all along. They're going to turn people's innocuous discussions about who they like and who they don't. Discussions about who they like and who they don't into some grand conspiracy. That's what they do. That's what they did to President Trump. It's like I've said to President Trump on several of my live streams. If they'll do it to Trump, they'll do it to every American, and they have. If they'll do it to Trump, they'll do it to every American, and they have. And they have. It needs to be reined in. They really need to shut down much of the FBI. They really need to. Much of the FBI. They really need to. Probably won't happen because, but it will destroy America. It will destroy. It is part of the IC. The IC is our most dangerous domestic enemy. They don't go after. Hillary's still walking around. They don't go after. Hillary's still walking around. Philip Mudd, who called for the death of the president, is still walking around. What can I say? What can I say? Yeah, gay people just need to keep it in their own homes and keep it private. I agree. I could tell you a really nasty story that happened to me, but I won't. That's why I say they always think a really nasty story that happened to me, but I won't. That's why I say they always think a straight guy is a potential convert. So they don't keep it to themselves. And it's not in their nature to do that. They do reach out eventually. Eventually. Yeah, don't Valdec, don't give up on rainbows. I know that they've stolen that important covenant sign from God and what it means. Don't give up on it though. Don't let them ruin your though. Don't let them ruin your appreciation and love of a sacred symbol. Don't do that. Yeah, principalities and powers is the battle, and the reason why it says that we, yeah, principalities and powers is the battle, and the reason why it says that it's not just against flesh and blood is because it's the consciousness of the people, it's their good parts versus the bad parts, and whichever wolf you feed is the one you're going to do. Look at Elijah Cummings. One you're going to do. Look at Elijah Cummings. Look at Schiff. Look at Schiff. Look at Swalwell. Look at Clinton. Look at Obama. Look at Lynch. Look at Holder. Look at Brennan. And we could go on down the list. And isn't it interesting? And we could go on down the list. And isn't it interesting? They always seek. And isn't it interesting? They always seek power. They want to tell you what to do. It should tell you what you're dealing with. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go. Thanks for being here, everybody. Like I said, I won't use this other system I have, unless I have a more secure internet. Probably have to go to the house again. Although I like coming out, I like being out a little bit. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll just shut it down here, and be aware that these forces, they're both sides. The good side, they're starting to come together, and the bad side is coming together. And at this point in time, I'm not sure which is bigger, but I know that bad side is a problem. Roy, watch Monty's video from last night. It shows evidence. I'll do that. Yeah, evidence. I'm not sure of what you're talking about, but we'll take a look. He's been talking about a bunch of things. All right, everybody. I will sign out. Thanks for coming. Again, sorry for the problem. Who knows what's going on? I've got a new computer. Maybe I should just start using it with some other. It has some other protections on it that maybe this one here doesn't get attacked too easy. All right. Thanks a lot for coming. We'll see you next time.